everyone. How's everybody doing today? So good. So today we're going to do some more insightful content and just things to open your mind and let you see the world and your awareness and enlighten you more. And just how you can create your life, excuse me, by design instead of by default. You know, I can guarantee you this. I can sit here and confidently tell you or say that 90% of all people or individuals are living their lives on default instead of design. What do I mean design? A person who lives their life by design is someone who is aware of universal knowledge of spirituality, of the universe, of consciousness, a little bit of quantum physics, and how their mind operates. These individuals live their life on their terms because they can self-create and they have more control of what they can get into their lives. The other majority of people are the ones that live on default, that they're just getting what's coming in their lives and they're not expecting it, or they're just replying to it or just taking note of it. In other words, they aren't aware that they have some responsibility, or their actions or their habits or something is contributing to the way their lives are operating. And that is about 90% of the entire world population. That's right, I just said 90% of people are living their lives on default. Probably you are one of them. So let me break something down to you so you can see how this game works. I always say this is a game, and the world of quantum mechanics have taught me this. The world of consciousness, how the mind operates, have definitely taught me this. Everything around you is made up. It was once in somebody's head. The system you live in right now, the government, their social media, it's all a group of people that came up and said, hey, what a great idea. Let's do this. Let's create this. And let's show people how to live. And this is what you should do. The laws and rules that make everything up are created by men. And some of them aren't even as smart as you, but yet we live in a society that's generated and created by the matrix. I call it the matrix. But let me say this again. If you truly understand, and here's a key word now, if you truly understand, maybe I should go deeper, maybe if you overstand or understand how this manifestation method thing works, it would make your life so much simpler, man. And let me start to teach you and give you some tips on how this stuff works. Alright, the first one is, I don't think a lot of people understand how important your feelings are. That's right, feelings. Those emotions, those outbursts you have no idea how important they are. And you know, it's done on purpose, because there's no book that shows you the psychology or the physical effects of your feelings. There's no book like out on the market that shows that. That's not even taught in public schools. Not even in your religion, in your churches. They don't tell you how important your feelings are. But let me tell you how important your feelings are, my friend. You see, this world, okay, it's all energetic vibrations. Nothing is ever at rest, people. My thoughts, my body, everything is mental, and it's moving at tremendous speeds. And these speeds, they oscillate. Some of these speeds, they slow down and they're dense. Some of these speeds, they speed up and they're heightened. And this is how we see the world. That's how we see liquid, solid, and gas, different states of matter. Your thoughts carry the same way. And the thing about your thoughts is, when a thought comes in, it connects with what's called the subconscious or the unconscious mind. And that is where you generate your feelings. The feelings are picked up through the subconscious. But if you want to get to the core house or the storehouse or where feelings really come from, that would be called in your heart. So so the heart will get it and send it to the unconscious mind. Now here's the thing. The feelings have more power and they have more energetic vibration. So when a feeling goes out, it interacts with something else out here. In physics, we refer to this as a quantum whirl or a field. This field has all the potential, all the probabilities, all the actualities for everything you want to experience physically. So let's say today I got up and I felt crappy, or I just feel in a bad mood, or I just feel like today ain't the day. You know what's going to happen? Now this is for people who are aware of this. See, I'm aware of this, so I'm teaching you something here. For the ones who are aware of this, they know what will happen. They know that when they get up and they get crappy, or they feel just low self-esteem, something happened in your life, you don't feel good, you just don't feel it. What tends to happen? Your world will reflect your feelings. You're going to meet people that feel the way. Got that? You're going to encounter situations that are going to make you feel that way. Got that? If you notice that. So if you're smart, you'll start to say to yourself, damn, every time I feel this, I get that. But how many people are aware of that? See, not many people are aware of that. Because the majority of people, you know what they do? They're on default program. So they think it's just normal, and they're oblivion to that, what their feelings are creating in their world. Now the individuals, the ones that get it, they know this. Those are what I call the deliberate co-creators or deliberate creators of their reality. These are the ones that they are very cautious, and they're very observant how they're feeling. And when they feel a certain way, they'll do anything, or they'll do any methods to just get themselves back in a good state. Now, you're not going to feel good every day. That's not the point. The point is the big picture of how feelings influence the world. Now, how about if you get up one day and all of a sudden you feel good, you're on a good vibe, then guess what happens? The same thing reflects around you. You see that? The same thing reflects in your inner and outer world. That's how many people know that. That's why there's two classes of people that exist. They are the deliberate creators, and there are the default creators. I say it again, the default creators are people who just get stuff in their life and they don't know why they get it, they don't know how they're getting it, and they're just complaining. They're the victim mentality. They think the world is against them. They think that things are happening to them. Those are the default things. The ones who deliberate, they know things don't happen to them. They know that things happened for them. Someone asked me, is self-concept important when it comes to manifesting? Yes. The self-concept is the whole picture to the game. And I'm going to get into that. I was just about to get into that. Now, in order for you to develop and get what you want in your life, your self-image, or what you call self-concept, your self-image has to match what you expect in your outer world. Let me make that make sense for you. You cannot be someone who every day thinks life is against them and nothing's happening, but yet you expect to have a rich, wonderful, successful life. Self-concept is off. In other words, you can't be that person that's always negative or is thinking that nothing is happening for you, but yet you're hoping, you're wishing, you're praying that your life is going to change and become better. It will not. It's not going to work. The reason it cannot work is the fundamental laws of physics, of how frequency and energy work. And let me show you what I mean. Look, I used to be that person, man, years ago. I used to be the person that I had a strong ego. Egos put you down, tells you it's not going to work. And, I was that person that would always like, man, it ain't going to work. I don't know if it's going to happen. But then secretly I'll go to the side and I'm hoping and I'm wishing, like, man, I wish it could happen. I wish it could do. And then I would pray and say, man, could you do this for me? But then in my head, I would still have these negative, like, self-defeating thoughts. And I would be just in this trance, like this middle ground that nothing would happen. Nothing would happen. And what did I discover? You know what I discovered? I discovered that I cannot get what I want if everything doesn't match up. In other words, in my head, I can't have bad, negative things, and outside in the world, I'm expecting or I'm praying to get good stuff. It just won't work that way because I'm giving off two conflicting energy signatures. If I don't have two things that match, what's going to happen? I always use this analogy. You ever did those puzzles when you were a kid and you have to put the pieces together to make the picture? The picture only comes alive when all the pieces match and you say, whoa, man, I look at this beautiful thing. But if the pieces don't match, what ends up happening? You get incongruency. Hey Mark, what should I do if I almost won the lottery, then the next time I lose? You gotta keep playing. That's how it works. I mean, you never lose, it just hasn't manifested yet. You just have to be patient, have faith, focus on it, let it go, keep your budget, and expect it, and it must happen. It must happen. Okay? Now let's go back to the incongruency. So the incongruency is this. If I don't portray something that's positive, and my external reality doesn't portray something that's positive, I'm not going to get positivity. If I portray negative and positive, I'm not going to get positive because I have negative. You see, the thing is, a negative feeling has more power over us than a positive feeling does. Let me repeat that. A negative feeling tends to manifest a lot faster or have more power than a positive feeling does. And I know I have some people here in the chat, so can anyone tell me why does a negative feeling will have more power over a positive feeling? And we've been taught that positivity is good, which it is good. Being an optimist is good, but why the negative thing? Does anyone know that? I notice when I expect, I don't get my manifestation, but when I don't expect, it comes in, it's like that. No, it's not that you don't expect it. You expect your manifestation. The thing is, you're not focused or you're not attached to it. That's the thing about it. You just kind of like don't care. You have to expect it to come in. You have to expect it without looking for it. That's what happens. But anytime you're going to manifest anything, you're going to expect it. Energy flows where attention goes. It's because what? Somebody here says it's because it's easier to be negative. Why is it easier though? Okay, that's a good question. Well, okay, it is easier to be negative, but let me show you why our negative feelings will tend to attract more than positive feelings. It's because of what we call repetition and programming. When we were kids, when our brain were developing, the first part of our consciousness that came to life when you popped out the womb is known as the unconscious mind. See, the unconscious mind doesn't have logic in there. It needs your conscious mind. But the problem is your conscious mind comes online when you're 7 years old or 8. So that means 7 to 8 years of your life, you're programming the unconscious. So what happens now in the unconscious, it will pick up anything and it can't filter. So when it sees your mom and dad fighting, negative. When it sees stuff on the news, negative. When it hears how tough money is and sees you go to school, negative. Remember, this matrix is designed around negativity. The world we live in is more negative. It puts out more negativity than positivity. And you can clearly see that because if you turn on your local news, you never see good news because good news don't sell. Everything has to be fear-based, and that's done for a reason. Fear sells. Fear can make you, cripple you. Fear can make you less likely to critically think. Fear makes you more controllable. Fear makes you don't want to change. All of that means you're more controllable. So the world we live in has that. So your unconscious mind picks all that stuff up. And by the time you become 8 years old, your regular mind comes online, you're lost. It's like it's defeated. So now you got to do a lot of work to get that on. So this is why fear manifests a lot faster, or negative feelings, because it's actually synaptically pruned or wired in our brains. So you're going to have to now do a habit or action to change that. And that's where the work comes in. So that's something you have to be a cautious self. Someone says, who's this? Chrissy says that's why awareness is so important. That's correct. So be fearless. Someone else says, Tremink says, be fearless. Yes, you can be fearless. And fear, remember, fear is just illusions. It's not real. But look, this is what I'm showing you. How many people know this, though? That's what I want you guys to understand, that the difference between a deliberate creator and someone who's on default. Now let's talk about the default program, because that's where most people are stuck in. They're stuck in a default program. Let me give an example of what a default program is. Let me show you something. All right, when people want something in their life, right? What's the first thing they say? When you want something, how does the world describe things? They put it in, look, big, small, right? When you think of something you want, your brain will actually come in and calculate and tell you, oh, that's too big for us to get. That's out of our league. Oh, that's small, I can get that. And what usually happens? Check this out. 9 times out of 10, why do you manifest small things so easier than big things? Think about that one, huh? Get a lot of questions on that. Hey, Mark, why is it so easy when I manifest things I really don't want? Like the small stuff I want, I get that, but the real big stuff I want is hard to get. I wonder why. I know the answer. Let me tell you what's going on here. You see, what happens is the matrix, the language, they put it in your head. They create the words big and small. Nothing is big, people. Nothing is even small. It's made up. Let me repeat that again, because people don't really get this stuff, man. There's no such thing as big, and there's no such thing as small. Everything just is. When you say something is big, you automatically create a block or a limit, because you're telling yourself it's out of my reach. They make up stuff like out of your league, out of your reach. All that is done to keep your mind at a limited perspective, to keep you at a cap system where you can't experience your true nature of abundance. Same thing with money. Money is the biggest thing about people. If you want to have money, eliminate the word big and small. Eliminate the word lots and lots of money. Matter of fact, billions, trillions, all of that is nothing in the universe. It just is. If you can get in your head and to understand that there's no cap system, everything just is, and it's what you want, it's what you'll get, then you'll see more changes in your life. But let me go back to the default program about those languages of big and small. All of you do it. Most of you have done it before. When you want to manifest something, your brain comes in and says that's too big, because that's what you've been programming. Man, I can't get that, man. Look where I'm working at. Look at those people are out of my league. I mean, where I'm at right now, I'll be able to never get that. That's just too big for me. So what do? They go to the next level, which is they settle now. They say, okay, that's too big. Let me bring it down a little bit. Let me bring it down just a little bit. Oh, no, that's still too big. Let me bring it down some more. Guess what? No one ever gets what they want. They settle. Did you know very few individuals actually get what they want? Majority of people settle for what they want. They trick themselves into believing that's what they want, but that's not what they truly want. How many people? I talk to so many people when I coach, when I do my coaching practices and stuff like that, and I talk to so many individuals. And one question I asked them, I said to them, I ask them all the time, this one. I said, what do you want? And they'll tell me what they want. And then I switch it again. I say, okay, what do you truly want or desire? And they'll tell me what they truly want or desire. And then I throw some little statements in there just to get their minds, to see where their mind's at. And then I'll say, so what are you feeling? And they tell me, oh, I'm feeling that's what I want. And then they'll say something else, and I'll go back to them. Then I'll say, wait a minute, you just contradicted yourself. You just told me this is what you truly want, but yet that's not what you truly want. And they say, oh yeah, it's fine. I mean, I truly want that, but I'll be good with this. See that? That's dangerous, people. It sounds so simple. Yeah, I really want that, Mark, but you know what? I'll be good if I could get this. That's the famous line. I really want it, but I'll be good with this. That's what I really want, but I'll settle for this. That's what I truly want, but I'll be happy with this. No. No, man. Go for what you truly want. Stop getting in the game of settling. Settling is only diminishing your mind, your creativity. It's diminishing the abundance factor. It's actually putting a cap on your mind. See, most people don't understand. That's why I'm talking about this stuff. That's what I said. Look, if you truly understand how this universal laws and energy and physics works and quantum mechanics and the subconscious mind and how you are, you can understand that your mind is limitless, not limited, man. And the thing is, people are living on a limited mind, and it's done because of the language that was created and put into their lives, like big, small, out of your league. So your brain accustomed to that reality, therefore your mind is like all the way out there. Let me see. I want to put the best analogy I could put so people can understand this stuff. I want to put the best. Let me see, because I like to use analogies so that people can get this. All right, check this out. Let's say you go to the beach. I'm bringing this in accordance with the power of the mind and how your mind works. Let's say you go to the beach. And you're on the beach, right? And you go in the water. And in your area, it's like in your the little area around you, you think that's all the beach is, right? That little area you're in. You say, oh, this is the entire beach. But just, what's the best word here? Intuitively, you know that the beach stretches out even further. Oceans go deeper. But logically, your mind is saying to you, this is the beach, the little part I'm in right now. That's what happens to your mind when you settle and you don't truly go for what you want. You create a cap system and you shut down all the potential, all the unlimited, and all the resources that the universe can deliver to you to get what you want. That's what most people do every single day. Tell me I'm lying. You can't tell me I'm lying. It's true. You're probably doing this right now. You do it at your job. You do it with your relationships. You settle. Oh, I can't get that. Maybe I'll settle for this. Oh, I can't do that. Maybe. Oh, maybe it's past my prime. Oh, it's maybe past. It's past your time. Your prime. All that is a bunch of crap, people. None of that exists, man. It's all a matrix of control. There's no such thing as you're ever too old. You're too young. You don't have it. It's past your prime. You got to do this. People, it's all made up, people. Your mind is limitless. It's an infinite mind. Capacity to do infinite things. We know this through studying the nature of reality, the nature of the universe. When we go into the night sky and we could look back hundreds and trillions and billions of years into the early universe, we can understand that our part of the universe, even the Big Bang, it didn't even happen. It's not the beginning. It was just a part of another universe that bumped into our universe. The universe always was, is, and never. It was never created. Can't be destroyed. It was just here. People can't grasp the concept of beginning. We can only grasp the concept of beginning or end, but we can't grasp the concept of infinity or it's always been here. And now we're using science, like we have the James Webb telescopes. It's showing us now that, wait a minute, we're going to have to rethink our model of physics, of classical mechanics or quantum physics now, because a lot of things are showing us how the universe works. Now, if the universe is like that, how about you? Your mind is part of that consciousness, even the subconscious. Now we know through neuroscience, we understand how the unconscious mind works. We know that it's infinite. We know that the unconscious mind can process billions of bits of information per second. We know that it controls your homeostasis system. It controls your breathing, metabolic state. It controls everything. The information that your subconscious mind holds, you can't cap it. It can't fill it up. The only part of your mind you can ever fill up is the conscious mind, because that's the logical part of the analytical mind. We know this stuff. Science shows us this. Epidemiology shows us this. Physics showed us this. So we are aware now of how all this stuff works. But the issue is, and I'm going to show you, this is deep now because I want you to get this. It's really important for you to go for what you want. And what I mean by go for what you want now, I'm not talking about you got to go take physical action and all that stuff. Because that's what's coming to your head right now. You're like, okay, this guy's telling me I got to truly go for what I want. If I want to stick with it. All right, now I guarantee the next thing that came into your head is this. All right, man, so how I'm going to do it. So I got to figure out how I'm going to do that. No, you don't. Let me repeat this again. So I'll repeat this again. If you truly understood, overstood, understand, overstand, whatever, if you truly understand how the universe or manifestation works, your life would be so much simpler. I just gave you a clue. So the next tip is, man, that's too good to be true, bro. So you're telling me I should not settle, but yet you're not telling me how to go for what I want. Let me put this disclosure or disclaimer out there so you can all get this, okay? You have to know this. Everything that have been taught to you from the day you went into kindergarten and school, everything that your parents, your grandmother, your family have taught to you about how the world works, everything you watch on TV about how the system works, how the world works, it is all a lie. It is all backwards. It is all incorrect information. It is all tainted information. You want me to repeat that again? Every single thing you have taught about the concept of your life, how your life runs, how you get your job, how you get connections, how you find marriage, how you do all this, how you get money, how you mind things, how life works, how religion, all of it is wrong. You'll be asking me, like, how does this guy know this stuff? Well, I know this stuff because I was in it, just like you're in it. I was a puppet. I was a NPC, a non-player character. I was a bot. Then I woke up. You see, when someone's been in, so who's the best person that can help you and give you advice and to help? Someone who's been in it, right? Like if someone, like say you have someone like let's use an alcoholic. He's a recovering alcoholic for like 15 years and he broke the habit. Who are you going to listen to if you want to stop drinking alcohol? Him. He was an alcoholic. He stopped. He's been straight for 10 years. He's the best one that can tell you how to do it, right? Are you going to go to someone who hasn't drunk alcohol but they know all the knowledge about it? They know, like, okay, you drink alcohol, it does this to your intestine, does this to your liver, but he never took a drink in his life. Is that the person you're going to go to? You're going to go to someone who's been in it, right? Well, this guy, remember now, I won the lottery doing this lots of times. I've changed my whole blueprint. I've seen how this stuff works. So you got to understand this stuff, people. You got to wake up and see this stuff. All right, that's the disclaimer, so I want you to know that before we go any further, okay? Because a lot of the stuff I'm going to be sharing with you, you're going to have an open mind, and you're going to have to suspend your disbelief, because that's what's keeping you in this loop. Right? All right, let's continue. All right. So, rule number 1. Whenever you want something, don't settle for that something. When you have a goal or a dream, no matter how big it is, keep that in your mind as what you desire. Got that? That's number 1. Here's what's going to happen now. Your analytical, or what we call critical thinking mind, which is the ego, what it will do is going to interject, because it's been programmed and conditioned through big and small. So when you want something really big, your mind's going to come in and say, hey, this is something we can't do, because your mind's going to go back into the past and see how good you were in the different avenues of your life. And then it's going to realize and say, wait a minute, this is something we can't do because we've never done it before. Got that? Here's how you fix it now. You have to let the mind talk. Let it say that stuff. and then observe it, but don't absorb it, because that's what it does. It's to protect you and it's to keep you safe. It's always going to do that. So keep your dreams alive. Okay, so this is what I want. I want to do this. I want to do that. All right. The next step now, the mind's going to come back to you now and say, all right, so you bypass me. So now you believe you could have this stuff. Then the mind's going to come to you now and say, all right, my friend, how are we going to do it, Mark? That's what I was going to say to you. How the hell am I going to get this stuff? Okay, how the hell am I going to make $1 million and I only have $25 in my bank account? How the hell am I going to be a successful realtor, a successful trader, and I got a job that I'm making 12, 15, whatever dollars are? How am I going to own my own business, bro? I'm doing all this stuff, right? That's common, right? But again, I said to you, just chill out and hear me out, because I'm going to show you how all this stuff works. It's normal for your mind to do that, guys. So just relax, okay? Your mind's going to do that. That's what it does with me. It's going to come to you and say, but how are we going to do that? So let me explain to you why your mind does that now. The only reason the mind will come to you with the how is because that's how it's been programmed. That's what it's used to. You see, the thing about your mind is it can only create your reality based on the past experiences, right? It looks for what happens in the past and it tries to restructure it and make it in the present, okay? This is why you must never, ever focus on the past and never, ever look towards or try to think about the focus or look in the future, because it's not there and the past already happened. But your unconscious mind isn't aware of that. So here's what happens. The mind will go into the past, it'll construct this thing, and it'll come back to you and say, man, everything you're telling me is out of our league because we've never done that before. That's the secret. Here's the thing now. Just because you've never done it doesn't mean you can do it. Your mind doesn't know that, though. Your mind isn't aware of that. But here's where most people fall, though. Most people can't make it past that state. They succumb to that part of the mind. When the mind says, but how are we going to do it? And then you're going to jump in with the mind now and say, all right, man, how are we going to do it? Boom, you're going to come back with a big disappointment, because now your mind's going to tell you, we can't do it. And it's going to diminish your dream and your goal. And now you're going to start to settle. That's where most people fall off. Now, the other ones now that are aware of this stuff, they know how to pass that part. Okay, that's what I'm teaching. So how do you pass that part? I just gave you the map. I just told you that the mind will construct the past and then compare it to what's happening. So you know that the past isn't happening now. And also you know, just because you don't know how to do something, you intuitively must know that there's something out there that's bigger that you've done. Think about this. Most people, when they do something, they've never done it before until they do it, right? That's how you get that. So once you pass that part of the mind now we're going to enter into where I talk about suspend your disbelief and have an open mind, because this is going to get real trippy. Now, there's a part of you, most of you must know this now, it's called your authentic self or your higher self. It's real. I've experienced this. You know, this part of me is how I won the lottery. Look, guys, I used to see visions of numbers. I used to get 4 numbers, 5 numbers, and they would pop in my head. And I would play these numbers, and I'll stay with them. And I would win 6-figure money 3 times a year. 200,000, 300,000. I won the lottery multiple times. The Fantasy 5, all this stuff. And it was done through accessing that higher part of the mind. I would see stuff before it happens. I would get visions. I would get feelings. I would remote view. I'd see events, and I'll do all that stuff. And this was not done on an analytical part. I had to get out of the analytical mind and get into the higher mind. So this is how I know this stuff exists, because I've experienced it. And if you know me, if you've been following me, you know this story all too well. So maybe you're new here, but many of you guys have been following me for a while, so you know, as they say, you know the deal and how this stuff works. All right. So once now you understand that your mind is limitless, now you can get into the higher mind. So how do you access, Mark, how do I access that higher mind? How do I get that mind to do the stuff that I want to do? Mark, what do I do to do that? But Mark, if I want those big goals and those big dreams that you talk about, you know, and you're telling me not to try to figure it out, how do I let that mind get that information? Here's how you do that stuff, guys. You have to now use a hidden tool that all of you have, that you've been programmed to think is nothing. We have to use your imagination. We have to use the mind of vision now. You're going to have to visualize. to get to the higher mind. Some people can't visualize. You're going to have to start writing it down, people. Some people can't. If you can't write, you're going to have to start speaking it out aloud, people, not in the head. So you have different methods to access the higher mind. My method, when I won the lottery and when I manifest stuff today, is the visual aspect. I became very, very good at visualizing. Visualizing is the ability for me to close my eyes, or I can even do it with my eyes open now because I've gotten so good at it. But I can close my eyes and I can put a scene in my head and I can see the scene in real time, and then I could project it and I could repeat it, and then somewhere down the line it manifests just the way I've seen it. That can happen for everyone. So to access the higher mind, you get into the visual aspect of it. Alright, man. So how do I visualize getting something big that I've never gotten before? It's very simple. We do it every day. People live in fantasy. You see it on the movies. What do? You daydream. You imagine. Your imagination. So what you do is you open your imagination and you go into what you want, and you see yourself in that big office. You see yourself in that big house. Regular stuff in the office. Regular stuff in the house. In the end. That's it. Notice now, I didn't figure out how I did what I wanted. I just seen myself in the end having the experience or doing the thing. That's crucial. Crucial, crucial, crucial. Crucial part of this. People don't get this. I repeat that. Whenever I'm accessing my higher mind, I just visualize the end of my desires at hand. I'll never visualize how I'm going to get what I want. I visualize having what I want. Big difference. The lottery is different. The lottery is, of course, I'm going to visualize how I'm going to get what I want, because there's only one way to win the lottery. I buy a ticket. I visualize myself checking the ticket, seeing the prize, driving, buying stuff. So that's the easy stuff. But if I'm talking about other stuff in your life now, there's not a specific how to get. There's different channels to get what you want. So when it comes to that, I focus on just what I want and seeing myself in the end having it or experiencing it. Now when I do that, here's what happens now. The law of consciousness or the law of infinity comes into play. What happens now, I am now retraining my brain. I am now escaping the matrix. I am now deprogramming. I am now getting out of the default mode that they put me into when I was a kid. Because what I'm doing now, I'm shutting off the circuit that they tied me to with my ego. What I'm doing now, I'm shutting the ego out. I'm teaching the ego now. I'm saying, look, ego, your days are numbered, man. All the days when you're trying to tell me how I could get what I want and I couldn't get it, I'm leaving you out right now. I'm stepping up in the big time. I'm going to the big games now. I'm going into my higher mind. So I'm conditioning my ego to stay out of the picture by not focusing on how I'm going to get what I want. Now I'm going to my higher mind, because my higher mind now knows the entire field of consciousness, and it has infinite ways for me to get my desires. Infinite. That means it has ways that I can't even imagine right now. And it's not up to me. I don't care about the imagining part, because I mean, my brain can't comprehend all that stuff, but my higher mind can. So what I do now, I leave the how to my higher mind. So what my higher mind does now, the higher self says, all right, Mark, thank you, man. I'm going to get this for you. So just relax, Mark. All I want you to do, Mark, is just chill, just focus on what you want. When the time is right, Mark, I'm going to send you a message and tell you where to take the inspired action to go get this thing you wanted. So I don't want you to try to figure it out with your ego, Mark, because, Mark, if you're going to use your ego, you're going to mess up my play. You know what I'm saying? This guy's going to come in and he's going to mess up the flow. So I need this guy to stay out and let me do my work. That's what my higher self says. Just let me do my work. This guy is not on my level. He's not on my pay grade. His pay grade is limited. My pay grade is unlimited. So let me do my pay grade. And that's what I do. I learned to do that. How many people can do that? Most people don't know that stuff. Yo, what I'm putting to you guys, man, is valuable information. It's millions of dollars of money. You go to seminars for this. You pay $10,000 for this stuff. You probably don't even pay $10,000, because most people aren't teaching this stuff the way I'm teaching. I'm showing you how it's done. So just keep that in mind. So, okay, now. So what I do now, I go to my higher self, Look, you want me to give you a live example of how this stuff works? I'll use my example. I'll go to a live example right now. When I first won my lottery, the first jackpot I won. I'll show it to you right now. So I decided I want a yellow BMW E46 Dakar yellow M3. They only made 10 of them in the entire world. I said I want to win the lottery. I'm going to buy this car. I was working as a chef in a hotel. I wasn't happy there. So I was like, yo, I'm going to study the universe and see how this stuff works. I learned to access my higher mind. I got into my higher mind. I said, this is what I want. I want that car, and I want to win the lottery to do it. I put in the visualization. I visualized it for about 9 to 11 months. And on the 11th month of that day, the image that I was putting into my head every day actually came my reality. I won the money, I bought the car cash, and I have the car right now. Then I did it again, and I bought more stuff, and I kept doing it over and over again. All because I escaped the ego part of my mind of how. And don't get me wrong, he tried to come in all the time. That's what he does. But I know how to put him at bay. So there's a live example. So now let's go back to how this stuff works now to show you this stuff. All right. So now I'm in the higher mind now. So what I do now, I project whatever I want. And I make it fun, and I make it normal. Key point here, fun and normal. Fun and normal. Fun, everything you're going to manifest is going to have to either be fun or normal. If it's not fun or normal, it's not going to come in. Sorry. If you want to win the lottery, it has to be fun and normal. The problem with most people, they don't manifest. This is if you're manifesting a lottery using your mind in alignment. And I wrote 2 books on this. You can go check it out. Amazon has it. Manifesting with Quantum Physics, and how to win the lottery using quantum physics and your subconscious mind. So let me give you a preview of this stuff here, guys. If it's not fun and if it's not normal, it's not going to work. In other words, if you're going to access your higher mind and you're going to put fear or anxiety or anxiousness into it, it's not going to work. Because now you're going to activate the subconscious, which is the illogical mind. Your subconscious creates this. Your higher mind uses your subconscious to get you the stuff. So if your subconscious mind is filled with anxiety and fear or nervousness, you're going to create an energetic vibrational pattern that's going to be off balance to what you want. So, what most people try to do with the lottery is they try to use the lottery as a get rich quick or like get out, like, oh, this is my break. Oh, I need this. I have to pay off my bills. And what they don't understand is they're manifesting from a state of lack. You're not going to win if you're needy or desperate. You're not going to manifest if you're needy or desperate. You actually will manifest, but you're going to manifest needy or desperate things. However, you will win if it's fun and normal. Because when it's fun and normal, it means it's your natural state of being. It means your mind is used to that, and you're going to get more of that, guys. That's what I'm trying to teach you. You are built to be unconsciously abundant. You are built for infinite abundance. From the day you were born, your cells were programmed to make you well. When you get a cut, your body heals itself. Your body's designed to be in a state of well-being. That's why when you're sick, your immune system fights all the infections and makes you well again. You get a cold, you're well. That's why you feel good when you laugh and happy. That's why you always want to be happy. That's why people take drugs, because they want to be on this high to feel good all the time. Your body is naturally tuned to a state of abundance. That's someone hit it. That's why rich people play and hit the lottery, because they don't need it. You have to act like that. That's how I want it. I developed a mentality. I act as if I don't need the lottery. I act as if the lottery needed me. I wasn't chasing the lottery now. I was doing it because it was fun, and it was just nice, and it was like just to dream about it, to imagine it. I didn't attach any need, or I gotta get this. None of that happened, and that's why I won. That's a big lesson for you in the entire process of this thing now. So now, once you get the higher mind to talk to the subconscious mind to say, this is fun and this is normal. Now the subconscious mind now will start to manifest the world around you. Bam. Yep. You have this chase. You don't chase, you only attract. You cannot need anything. You got to make the stuff need you. That's what I've done. I've traversed the game. Someone says, how do I attract my crush? Make your crush need you. Put a mentality that you're good, that you're high value. He or she the one that needs you. You don't need them. You're fine on your own. You're going to send a signal out and they're going to pick it up and they're going to be receptive. Because the next thing about this module, guys, is that all of us are connected and we're constantly talking to each other on a subconscious level. It needs you. You don't need it. That will make it fun for you now. It will take away the pressure and the attachment. And you'll just be like, oh man, this stuff is cool. This stuff is really working. So once you start to condition, I started conditioning my mind now to get out of how. Now don't get me wrong. There are certain times I'll go into my logical mind because there's certain stuff you can do. You can use your logical mind for like how to get stuff, what you call small stuff. You figure it out. But when it comes to what you call the big stuff, your big goals and dreams, you cannot use that part of the mind. It will only delay the thing. Because if you're using that mark, you're not going to engage in your higher self. Listen, your higher self will not come in when your ego is at play. I repeat that. The authentic self will not come in when the ego is in the show. How do you make the lottery need you? By acting as if you don't need it, by playing it for fun. By acting as if you've already won it and the money's coming to you and it's already yours and you live in a universe that's designed to serve you and the lottery is made to serve you. The lottery is looking for you to win it. As a matter of fact, the lottery is chasing you so you can win, but you're running away from it because you don't really need it. That's how you make the lottery need you. That mindset will create a serious level of detachment and you'll be in such alignment that you listen to your higher mind and do. Look guys, I mean this stuff is so trippy. Look, there's times when I go to bed and I sleep and I get a dream and it'll tell me a store that I need to go play and buy a scratch ticket. I'll go in that scratch ticket and I'll win 10 grand. That happened to me, was it a year and a half ago? I had a dream like that and I went to a store. He told me to buy a ticket and I went to the ticket and it was an outside store and the scratch offs were on the outside and I was going to pick a ticket and there were 2 tickets there and one ticket was just flapping in the wind like this, flapping in the wind because the store was outside and the other ticket was silent. And my mind was going to pick the ticket that was silent, but because I understand how the universe works and the universal consciousness, the ticket that was flapping like this, I knew it was spiritual. I knew it had something weird because it wasn't wind blowing. How could one ticket be flapping and one ticket be single? Anyway, that one ticket that was flapping, excuse me, that was a $100,000 winner ticket, 100K, about $77,000, $76,000 or $75,000 after taxes. That's the stuff that happened. That's not even with lottery. I go in other stuff, businesses, ideas, people to connect with. I'll get dreams. Hey man, call this person tomorrow. I haven't spoken to this person in 2 years. I call this person tomorrow. Mark, great business idea. People coming into your life. I mean, listen man, everything you learn, you got to unlearn it, man. You got to unlearn it because you're missing out. You're seriously missing out on the best version of your life. Do you believe we jump in parallel universe with every decision we make? 100% yes. And this is where I talk about suspend belief, open mind. Quantum physics shows us this. That our universe that we live in is part of a branch of a bubble universe. And they're parallel to us. There's other versions of you and I doing this thing, but in different formats and slightly different. And it only has to happen because the same particles that make you and I, they have to repeat at some point. The protons, the atoms, the electrons, the neutrons, the bosons, the Higgs boson, all these particles that make us up, they're only a certain amount. That means at one point when they are created, because they're limited and the universe is infinite, at one time they have to repeat themselves. That means you have to repeat yourself. I have to repeat myself. That's according to quantum theory, which is the best theory we have of how all things work in our universes. And I mean, it's working to a T right now because we have the theory of relativity, all this stuff. Without the theory of relativity, you wouldn't have GPS, your satellite signals wouldn't work, most electronics wouldn't work, the energy conservation, the things we power our computers with, the energy, all that stuff would never have invented, never worked if we didn't understand these fundamental laws of how the nature of reality and the universe work. Fundamental laws of how the nature of reality work. So Big picture is this. Once you get out of what they're teaching you about your self-beliefs, your self-concept of what you're good at and what you can't make, once you break that point out, that's when you start to enter your true power. The only way you can break that out, though, you have to understand that you have been teach or your mind has been kept in a cage, and that was done by design. Everything around you is designed to keep you in a limited perspective. This is why they have certain classes. They have classes of people. That's why they create the words poor, middle class, and wealth class. See that? They create systems like that to keep your mind to focus on, okay, there's a level to this, there's level. There's no level. It's infinite. Everything just is. There's no bigness, there's no smallness, it just is. It's all about what you believe. It's your belief. It's your self-worth. If you believe it's possible for you to be a billionaire or trillionaire, then that's what your higher mind will create. If you trust it, if you have faith enough, if you follow the principles and you lead it, one day you will become the thing that you've been thinking and dreaming about every day, as long as you don't get caught up into how and all that stuff. Listen, it's a very simple game, guys, and I'll show you again. Once you get into the higher mind and you do the visualization and you let it go, what the higher mind does now, it starts to talk to you through your intuition. It'll talk to you through your dream. So it'll use what's called inspired action. So maybe one day I'm thinking about this, what they call big thing, but to me it's not big. I'm just focusing on it and I'm letting it go. And then the message will come to me and say, Mark, it's time. I don't know what time it is. Okay, I got the way for you to get what you wanted. Because it's infinite ways. So I'm not worried about how I'm going to get it. I'm just know that I'm expected to get it. So you'll call me up and be like, hey man, I got that thing you wanted. I'm like, okay, what do I do? Here's what you need to do. That's when I take action. That's how it works. These are two types of action, bro. There's regular action, which is the force action, the push action, or what's called the inspired action, which comes from the higher part of the mind. That's right. Someone says expect to get it, not how to get it. That's the game. So, and I do this over and over. This is how I live my life now. I'm in a state of just flow. I observe what I want, I let it go, and I wait. Now listen, waiting doesn't mean I'm sitting by and just like, that's not waiting for me. Waiting means I'm expecting it, but also I'm busy doing other areas of my life. Whatever I'm doing, I'm doing it. And then when it comes in, I'll get it and I'll go take the action. That's how it works. I'll never try to go in my mind and figure it out, no matter how my mind says, well, it's taking a long time, Mark. No, all of that, again, is made up. Time does not exist. Time does not exist. There is no such thing as time. Get that in your head. There's no Monday, there's no Tuesday, no Wednesday, no Thursday, no January the 5th, no 12 years old, 5 years old, 45, 65, 22, 23 years old. All that is a product of made up stuff to calculate, to keep track, to monitor, and to make our society work. Now look, I am not saying it's wrong, because it does have its advantages. It makes your life a lot simpler. But the fact is, it doesn't exist. It's not real. And your ego is conditioned to believe it's real. And this is why you suffer. Most people suffer because of the time. The mind tells them it's been a year, it's been 2 years, it's been 5 years, it's been 6 years. All that is irrelevant. There hasn't been 5 or 6 years. 10, 20 years has never gone by. Everything that's going by is going by right now. There's no, in 5 years, where will you be? Right now. When 1 year happens, it happens right now. Nothing will ever happen in the past. Nothing will ever happen in the future. It doesn't exist. Every event in the past and every event, what you call in the future, is borrowed from this moment right now, which creates what you call the future. It's a perception. It's a deception of the mind. That's the best way your brain can organize and make sense of this reality to you. And if you don't believe me, let's go to the biggest clue in the world to show you this. Let's go into the most powerful part of the consciousness, which is the unconscious mind. In your subconscious mind, it has no database for time. The circadian rhythm that monitors time when you sleep, that's in a part of the brain that's tied to your consciousness, or the egotistical, or what we call the conscious mind. That has no barrier on the unconscious mind. In the unconscious mind, there is no existence of a past or a future. As far as you're concerned, your subconscious mind only sees things as happening right now. People, get in your head. That's a big tip. The most powerful part of your mind doesn't know time. So what makes you believe time really exists? The most infinite part of your mind that creates your reality, infinite, does have no awareness of a month, a day, a year. It doesn't exist. It sees you right now. And I'll even back it up further to you. I'll explain to you why you still have these subconscious blocks and why you're still stuck and why you're still in a kid life. Because from the day where you're a kid and you pick up these blocks, your subconscious is stuck with you being a kid. So when you get older, it still has these kid blocks in your head because it never seen you get older. It just stuck in the present. Voila. That's the thing you gotta get to get out of this game. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I'm not gonna say, man, this is easy stuff. I'm not gonna say that. But once you tap in and you start to practice it and you start to get on it, it becomes easy and it gets into a flow. Because look, when you've been I call it tricked or duped your whole life into thinking that you're very limited, that you're not deserving of what you want, that you only can get what you want by connections or got to know the right people. All of that is irrelevant. You don't have to know any of that. All you have to do is to tap into your authentic self and let it do the work for you. Once you understand that, man, I don't have to do this stuff. I can go live my passion. I can live my purpose. And then you can do that and you can escape the fear and all that stuff. That's when your life truly begins, man. Yeah, someone says it's like muscle. It gets stronger over time. Yeah. That's when you escape. But in order to escape this stuff, guys, you got to understand what I'm showing you. That everything, I want you to think about this, man. Every single thing, you must unlearn it. Everything, you must unlearn it. Because it's not true. It's not how it works. Some people, it'll be very shocking. And I'm not going to lie, some people will get depressed over it. And some people won't listen to this. They'll bypass this message and they'll say, whatever, that's fine. But if you don't get this and understand that you and I have been programmed into a world that doesn't tap into our true potential, that we've been we've been purposely shoved an image that will limit our potential from reaching our full self. Our minds have been capped by design. This is the only way you're going to get the results you want. Look, some of you can go ahead and work hard. You can push. You can go sacrifice. You can sweat blood and tears. And you can use your ego mind and you can get stuff you want. And if that's fine for you, that's fine for you. But I can promise you one thing. And I'm going to tell you right now that it will never be consistent. You will always have ups and downs when you do that part of the mind. When you sacrifice and you push and you strive and you make it, I can guarantee you one thing. You will never have consistency. You cannot have consistency. You know why you can't be consistent? Why? Can anyone tell me why you will never be consistent? Look, this is what you should be looking for in your life. You should be looking for a consistency, not inconsistency. Anytime you are struggling, you're feeling pain, you have anxiety, you are miscreating your life. Anytime. 100%. I repeat that again. Anytime you're feeling struggle, lack, nervousness, anxiousness, no pain, no gain, all that stuff they're telling you in the world, you are 100% miscreating your life. Someone said you can sacrifice for a job, but they can fire you. No. Anytime you do any of that, you're going to miscreate your life. Well, you may say to me, well, man, bro, I hear what you're talking about, but for me, hard work is work. You know, I go sacrifice, I work hard, and I do this. But I can ask you one question, man. I can ask you one question right now. How long have you been consistent at it? Are you happy? Do you get nervous? Do you think about what happens if you don't get it? What happens when something goes wrong? I guarantee all that going to your head, right? That's because you're doing it the wrong way. That's what they program you to do, man. They program you to do that so you can feel insecure. I don't care who you are. You could be a CEO right now, you can make a lot of money. But if you're doing it the way that they're teaching you to do it, I can guarantee one thing's going to your head. Every night you go home, in the back of your head, you're still thinking about, what if I get fired tomorrow? What if this crumbles? What if that crumbles? You may be making money, but you're still doing it the wrong way. See that? You go home every night. You're not going to be consistent. Can't happen. So let me teach you and show you the correct way to do this stuff, where you can actually go to bed every night and never have to worry about, man, what if I lose my job? It doesn't work. You never have to worry about that, because then you know that you got an authentic self that got your back, that will figure out a way for you to bounce back like that. See, the reason you live like that is because you live in your conscious mind, your ego mind. Your ego mind is constantly trying to figure out your life for you, and it's so limited that it puts you in all these stucks, and you try to worry, even though you have a good job or whatever you're doing, but you'll never be consistent. So let me explain to you why you'll never be consistent when you use your regular mind or your hustle or trying to push and action and force and do all this stuff. I'll tell you why you can never be consistent. You'll always, somewhere down the line, you're going to mess up. You ready for this one? You weren't consistent when you were a cook. No, okay, look, do you know what the word consistent mean? When I'm talking about consistent? When I'm talking about consistent, I'm speaking about maintaining a certain level of your goals, your dreams, whatever you're making, money, monetary stuff. That's consistent. Consistency means happiness, means peace. That's consistency. That's the definition of consistent. Okay? So keep in mind what consistent means, people. Okay? Let me repeat it again. Consistent means having... Okay, let me the best analogy I can make this for you. All right, let's use sports, because everybody can get this. All right? Let's use the great players or basketball players. Let's look at look at Michael Jordan. Everyone knows Michael Jordan, right? The NBA has what? 300 players. Only few of them can go out every night and put up 25, 30 points on a consistent level. You had a couple nights when he'd be off. Maybe he got 20 points. But overall, 90% is consistent. Okay? That's consistency. That's what I mean by consistent. You can do the same thing every and get this better results and the same, even better results. That's consistency. If you're getting that in your life, then this message isn't for you. Then you're fine. But if you're not getting that in your life, then this message is definitely for you. So let's go and to finish explaining to you why you can never be consistent in your regular mind. You ready for the kicker? Drum roll, please. The reason you will never be consistent in your conscious mind is because your conscious mind is never running the show. Your conscious mind is a product of the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is really the boss of the show. You're actually 98% subconscious mind. And let me get even deeper. Your conscious mind lies to you based on the emotions your subconscious sends to it. Your subconscious is actually the main guy, and your conscious is the middle guy. Your subconscious actually tells your subconscious mind what to feel and to think. Then your conscious mind conjures up its own beliefs because it's logical and it's smart. So your mind is actually lying to you every single day. Your mind will tell you, we're doing this, you're doing that. It's actually, you're never doing that, any of that. It's your subconscious that sends some emotion, and your mind just depicts the emotion to make up its own story and tells it to you. That's why You will never be consistent if you use your conscious mind, because it is not running the show. It's the middleman. If you ever go to the middle guy, you will always lose, because you'll never get the full thing. If you go straight to the source, you'll get everything, because you save money, you don't have to pay the middleman, you go right to the source, you're going to always have it. You always want to cut the middleman out. That's why you will never be consistent in your regular mind. But guess what? That's what they teach you, and that's what they taught you when you go to college and to school. They tell you to solve the problem, focus on the problem, fix the problem, critically try to think about the problem. Use your mind to get you. Try to figure out how you're going to get your life going. Figure out what you want to do with your life. Figure out how you're going to make the money. All of that stuff is purposely done to you. Therefore, you've been accustomed, and your brain has been synaptically pruned into creating that web, or that what I call loop of reality. Is this making sense yet? I told you, I've been through this. So, how do I fix this? First, let me ask you a question. Is it possible that you could live a life every day with more good stuff happening than bad stuff? Is it possible that you can go to bed at night, every night, and not worrying about how or what you're going to do to create a business, make money, all that? Is it possible to do that right now? You may be looking at me like, nah, man, get real, bro. I live in a world, I got to worry about bills and all. Is it possible that I can be consistent about 90% of the time? Now, I'm going to say, the reason I don't put 100% of the time is because there's some things that just happen out of your control, that you can't control. But when it does happen, your subconscious will pick you back up and put you on a consistency. You can only be consistent. Listen to the drum roll, please. You will only be consistent if you use your conscious mind 40% of the time. 40% or 90%? Which one do I want to pick? Do I want to be consistent 40% or I want to be consistent 90%? I don't need a drum roll for that one. So, this is what they hide from you. This is what they don't teach you. This is what you're not exposed to. And this is why your life goes like this. Up, down, up, down. This is the difference between a deliberate creator and a default creator. So look, a deliberate creator life is like this. Look, a little one up, and then, but it's, see that? Can see? Default creator's life's like this. Look. Does this have to do with common sense? Common sense is uncommon. But yes, you have to have common sense. That's why I call it uncommon. A lot of people don't have common sense. And the only way to develop common sense is to get into your higher mind. Because your higher mind is going to reveal the truth to you about everything. You see, guys, your mind is designed and has been programmed. Your conscious mind is to use a lot of logic in your life. It's designed to keep you safe. It's designed to try to figure out your life. And it's just impossible to do that, because your conscious mind is not the creator of your life. It is just the observer of the creator of your life. Let me repeat that again. Your conscious mind is not the creator of your life. It's the observer of the creator of your life. The creator of your life is the unconscious mind. Did that register right there? So all your conscious mind is made to do is to see the picture. Let me put it in clear. Let me use an analogy so you can get it again. It's like a movie. You're directing a movie. The director of the movie is your subconscious mind. The actor of the movie is the conscious mind. The conscious mind listens to what the director says, point blank. If the director says, hey, go over there and do that, the actor must do it. If the actor don't do it, what does the director do? You fire you and get someone else that comes in. That's how the game works. Most of you, though, you have been tricked they hide the director from you. They only tell you that you're the actor. That's what the Matrix does. They don't tell you about the director that's part of you as well. They say, oh, come here. So look, this is how it works. You're just going to do what I tell you to do. You're going to watch this. You're going to go to school. You're going to learn. Okay, I want you to go to religion too. I want you to be a Christian. I want you to be a Jew. I want you to be that. So I want you to do all this stuff, and you're going to follow this stuff. And then I want you to work, 9 to 5 every day for 40 years of your life, and then you have about 10 years of your life left to live and enjoy your life. But I want you to do that. Oh, I also want you to go to bed every night, and I want you to worry about if you're going to get a job, if your job is going to be secure. The next thing I want you to do, I want you to be self-comparison. I want you to compare yourself to people. Oh, there's also want you to believe that there's other people better than you. Oh, also I want you to believe that you're not good enough. And I want you to watch social media. Also want you to change your body, and I want you to just dress differently because that's a new style. One more thing. I also want to tell you who you're attracted to and who you should marry. So here's the pictures of all the people you should marry, and here's a picture of what beauty looks like to you. Also, I have to make you very low self-esteem because I'm going to need you to go to therapy. I'm going to need you to be happy and sad because I could put these prescriptions on you and take these drugs. And I want you to be depressed a lot. And I want you to be in fear because that's how I can sell stuff to you, okay? That's what I want you to do. So I'll go out there and I'll go play your role. That's what they do to you. That's what you are right now. So if you know, you know. If you don't know, now you do know. That's how it is. They hide the director. They're not going to tell you the director. Why would they tell you about the director? Because then you realize, oh man, this is me all along. I got the power. I got my subconscious. So all I have to do. So Mark, so you're telling me this stuff, man. How do I fix it? Well, I mean, you're the director and the actor. You're the director and the actor, man. So just fix your director to do what the actor wants to do. Good. How to tap into the subconscious. Yeah, you got to learn how to do that stuff. You got to learn the languages of your subconscious. All that's in my books. If you want to get that, and plus you go to my YouTube channel, all stuff. I show all people how to do that stuff. You know how to do all this stuff. So all you got to do is to just get friends and get to know your director, get to know your subconscious mind, get to talk to it, get to change it, get to tell it what you want to put in there. And then whatever you put into the subconscious, then the higher self now is going to make it happen because it knows the infinite ways. Remember now, your subconscious is like a computer. It listens to the higher self now, right? It has the access to pick up information from that part of the mind. But once you get the director on board, then your reality becomes consistent because now the director and the actor, they're friends. The conscious mind now will listen to the director. That's how you're going to have consistency. Remember I told you, I said you'll never have consistency if you use the conscious mind because the director wants one thing and the conscious mind wants one thing, right? So you have two people fighting. So that's why you're going to have inconsistency because the director will always get the last laugh. It will always, his decision will be the final decision. So what you're experiencing is the actor fighting against the director. Check this out. If the actor is fighting against the director, who's going to get fired? Tell you one thing, it ain't going to be the director. It's the actor. The director is the guy that makes the whole movie. He knows the whole game. Actors want to be nice to the director. Because they know the director controls the paycheck, the money. The director can get them more roles. The director. Remember now, there's tons of actors out there. There's not a lot of directors out there, good directors. Lucky for you, you have both. And you have to know to do that stuff. Now, hopefully this is all making sense to you. All right, and with that said, this is enough information for today. Next one I may talk about more of the director and show you how to target and change the director of the subconscious mind. Someone just gave a nice comment here, and I'll give you a big tip. How do you feel about sleeping with affirmations? So there's someone just gave you a big answer. The first step to begin to change your director is to use the subliminal affirmations while you're sleeping. I'll give you another tip. The best way to change your director is to use hypnosis, self-hypnosis, or auto-hypnosis. Next time we'll talk more in detail about self-hypnosis, auto-hypnosis, tips, tactics, ways you can change the director, and all that stuff. But for right now, this is all the time I have, and I thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. I'll definitely get this uploaded to my YouTube. Okay? Thank you. See ya.